All right, everyone, welcome to the Power Play Podcast. I'm your host, Snipersky, and this is my partner, Trupa. Welcome. Trupa, good to be here with you, man.
Hell yeah. We've been meaning to do this for a while. Yeah, we Sniper and I we met back in door-to-door sales actually, and I know you grew up playing basketball, and I grew up playing baseball. And now we're here doing a sports podcast.
I know. It's actually pretty crazy. We've been having this in the talks for a while, and we're just finally here, so it feels pretty good. But we want to introduce ourselves to you guys. This means a lot to us. If you like this video, you share it with your friends, you comment and engage with us, and on top of that, you subscribe so that way you never miss out on any videos with us. So do so right now. But yeah, to introduce myself, I'm from Spokane, Washington. I've played sports all my life. Played football, I played basketball, I played baseball, and I love golf. And basketball is my main sport. I grew up playing basketball at the highest level I possibly could. I played a couple of years at junior college in Seattle, Washington at Shoreline. And then I worked to be a walk-on player at Utah Valley University in 2019. And even though I was on my way to making that practice squad team, I ended up getting a better opportunity over in Nebraska at an NAI program called Doane University. So played my last little bit there and graduated, and even got a year of student assistant coaching as well. So lots of experience at the high level, and it's been amazing. Basketball's been a full part of my life, and I love talking about it and sharing this knowledge with friends and family. So might as well just, talk about it with a friend.
Heck yeah. Who's your NBA team?
Ooh, so my NBA team is definitely what my hat shows right here, even though we can't see it. It's the Seattle Supersonics. Okay, no longer exist. Okay. But I'll be honest, man, I don't really have a favorite NBA team right now. It's more of favorite players, favorite concepts that different teams run. But I think if there's my favorite team to watch right now in basketball, man, I loved watching Oklahoma City Thunder play this last year. Thought they just played really good team basketball. SGA was MVP caliber, and Chet Holmgren was on the rise, which
so good.
Is awesome. But my favorite college team, through and through, will always be Gonzaga University.
Oh, yeah.
I pay very close attention to those guys.
Yeah.
But what about you, man?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Arizona, live out in Florida now. I grew up playing baseball. And then you'd actually laugh, but in high school, I don't know why, but I stopped playing baseball to join the drum line. Most people nowadays, they can't imagine a guy like me being in the drum line, but we were the cool kids, all right? So anyways, stopped playing baseball, did drum line, and now I like to play a lot of pickleball.
Oh, yes.
And ping pong, if there's ever a ping pong table. I like to golf too. Mediocre golfer for sure. One day we're nuking drives, and the other day we are out in the woods losing balls left and right. So yeah. Love sports though. When it's football season, it's the best time of the year. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, we got tons of football. So yeah, we got some exciting stuff to go over, and we have Thursday night football tomorrow night. So we got the Bills and the Dolphins.
Heck yeah.
It's going to be a good game.
Before we get into that, Trupa, so everybody knows, not only do you and I talk sports, but we've been talking every day because we also bet on sports.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So Trupa has his own page. I have my own page. You can follow us, and we'll link that into the description for you guys as well. We definitely appreciate the support and love. However, the coolest thing that we do is we definitely have our own strategies and our own brain power, but also we've been connecting a lot on the brain power part of who we should take in certain spreads and player props for these games, right? Especially in football right now that we're in that season. We're in Major League Baseball last little bit of the season, and they're going into the playoffs next month. So it's an exciting time to bet on sports, and if you're specifically really good at it, even better just to help share the knowledge, right? So something that Trupa and I do on our own time besides this podcast, and we're going to bring a lot of that knowledge for you guys into this podcast as well every time we film for you. So definitely be paying close attention and subscribing to the videos because you don't want to miss out on these free picks that we're going to give you guys. But, yeah, let's talk Dolphins, Bills tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football. This is the second week of the NFL now.
Yep. First week was a bit odd. There was There's probably like 15 quarterbacks that threw for less than 200 yards. So, bizarre week one. But I think maybe it's just first game nerves, I would say. But yeah, Bills, Dolphins, they both won last week. Mm-hmm. Obviously, as we know, Tyreek got detained on the way to the stadium. Love the guy. He's on one of my fantasy football teams, but I do have to say he
huge
was
Tyreek Hill fans right here.
Yeah,
I'm big Tyreek Hill fan too.
Big cheetah. Yep. Yeah, he's so fun to watch, but I mean, he was acting like an idiot.
He's honestly acting a fool.
He was acting like a fool.
He's acting like a big time fool.
Yeah.
You just don't do that.
100%.
Just don't do that at all.
Roll up your window on the cops and say, "Don't touch my window."
Yeah, you just don't do that.
So.
And, unfortunately, we live in a time where, it's a very touchy subject when it comes to law enforcement.
Oh, yeah.
But as big of a fans we are with Cheetah, glad he's safe, glad he's okay.
Glad he got to play.
Glad he got to play.
So much money on so many parlays with Tyreek.
I was really worried I wasn't going to be able to make a bag off of Tyreek that weekend.
Yeah. And he got his touchdown. So hit him
nice touchdown. And what did he do after the touchdown?
Hit him with a nice celebration. Waddle,
Cuffed him up.
So yeah, they got a nice division game tomorrow night. Right now, at first glance, the odds right now have it as Dolphins slightly favored as 1 point favorites. So Vegas, they expect this game to be pretty dang close, and they have the over under at 50.5 points. So
50.5 points.
Yeah.
Dang.
So they expect a lot of scoring. They expect a shootout. At first glance, I'm leaning towards the Dolphins. I think they're at home in Miami, nice warm weather. I think that they get an early lead at half, and they take the game over.
You've been to Hard Rock, right?
Yeah, it's a cool stadium.
It definitely looks like an amazing stadium.
Yeah.
Looks like a place you have to visit as a sports fan.
Yeah, and I think that's where they also had the soccer tournament. It was with who was it? Argentina and
was that the
Colombia.
America Cup?
Uh-huh.
Copa America.
Yeah, that place was electric. It was
they had some issues with that stadium too. People breaking in.
Yeah.
Destroying things, hurting people.
Anything to see Messi. So
anything to see Messi.
Yep.
Gotta do what you gotta do for the guy.
Oh yeah.
Especially because he's on his last little leg of playing.
Yep.
But yeah, that is going back to the Bills and Miami game. So you got Miami gonna win.
I got Miami. Yep.
Okay. I'll be honest, man. I like Miami on this one too. And the reason why is I think Tyreek has a little bit more of a chip on his shoulder of being a better football player because of what he recently had going on with his detainment. There's a lot of talk about that, a lot of distractions. I think for him, he's going to be like, how can I just play the best football that I can? And that's going to be how he gets rid of those distractions. Tua is so underrated when it comes to throwing the football. The guy throws darts. And, yeah, it's kind of a complicated thing to watch with Tua, I think. But, man, he can throw. I think where the Bills are unfavorable right now is Josh Allen hurt his hand. But they said that it was his offhand. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal for him. Mm-hmm. But I still think he might not want to rush as much and take those lower left shoulder hits because it puts his left hand in a vulnerable position to get hit.
Yep.
Also, the Bills' defense and their secondary is not as strong as it was last year. Mm-hmm. They lost some guys due to free agency and trading. So I think this year the Bills aren't going to be the same defensive team, which makes them a different team in the AFC conference, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I do like Miami right now, especially because they're the home favorite. But I think it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah. I think they'll probably keep it within maybe a touchdown. But yeah, no, I definitely think the Dolphins pull it off. So
good question for you really quick. How many between both teams over under 4.5 field goals?
Oof.
And this is just field goal makes, by the way.
Oof.
Over under 4.5 field goal makes between both teams.
They got Tyler Bass, and then who is it? Sanders. I don't even know the Dolphins kicker, but I'm gonna say. So I think the Bills kick a lot of field goals. I think the Dolphins score a lot of touchdowns. So I'm gonna take under 4.5 field goals.
Okay.
I think it'll maybe end at 4, but 5 field goals. No, I think there's gonna be a lot of touchdowns. So
okay,
I'm taking the under.
That's awesome. I was also gonna take the under. I think they're gonna get 4, if not 4 for sure, less than that. I was thinking the exact same thing. We honestly have a brain that just connects. So I think we read each other right there. That's awesome. I agree. 4.5. Let us know in the comments if you guys think is it over or under 4.5 field goal makes between both the Bills and the Dolphins for Thursday Night Football.
That's a good one. Cool. So that's for Thursday night. Transitioning into Friday night, we are blessed to have college football on Friday night.
Gosh, I love it.
It is 2 ranked teams. We have Arizona, U of A, versus Kansas State. They're both 2-0. It is Friday night game, and they have Kansas State highly favored to win, 7-point favorites, and the over-under at 56.5 points.
And they're going to be at KSU, right? They're going to be in Manhattan.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Do you think Kansas State should be a heavy favorite against U of A?
I'll be honest, 72.8 versus the 27.2% favoritism. I don't know if they're that heavy favorite because Noah Fafita looks really good at quarterback. I think they're a high-scoring team, and he's got McMillan to throw to.
That guy might be the best wide receiver in all of college football. He's slept on because he plays in Arizona. All right. If there's late games on the West Coast, then a lot of the times on the East Coast, where a lot of these analysts are, the game starts at like 11 at night, 12 at night. At least when I'm in Florida, games are starting at midnight. So I think U of A doesn't get a lot of eyes on the team, but McMillan might be the best wide receiver in all of college football.
Okay.
He's a beast.
I like
He's
that.
insane.
Is he going to the draft next year, or is he staying?
I think he has to go to the draft.
Has to go. Okay.
I think he'll catch 100+ yards.
Okay.
Every single game.
That's crazy. Yeah, because last game he recorded. I think he recorded over 100 yards last game, didn't he?
I know week 1 he went for 300 yards and like 3 touchdowns.
In the first
week, in the
That's
first
right.
game, yeah. The second game, I don't know how much he ended with. I think Arizona actually struggled, surprisingly, against some smaller team. But I think that was a fluke. I think they're going to play a lot better against Kansas State.
Okay, I do too, even though they're on the road. Manhattan's a tough place to play for both basketball and football. I've been to Manhattan for a basketball game, and those fans go crazy. Yeah. It is like a pit there, quite honestly. So KSU football historically has been one of the tough places to play, I think. So I think Arizona might have some fits. I am very unsure about Arizona's defense.
They struggle.
Yeah. But I do think Fafita and McMillan are going to be in sync for the game, and we'll see how they do. I think it's going to be more of a shootout, I think. I think Kansas State's got a better defense. So they might give that Arizona offense some fits, but if they can't even match up with them a little bit, if they don't have the right reads, if they make even one little mistake, I think Arizona, they capitalize on those mistakes.
Yeah.
So I like that. Let's see here. So ESPN has it over under 59.5. What do you think? Do you think it goes over under?
I'm taking the over. I think Arizona's going to be able to put up points. So Kansas State's not going to be able to take their foot off the gas in the second half. So as long as Arizona can score, it's going to cause Kansas State to continue to score, and I think it will go back and forth, especially with both defenses.
Yeah.
If Arizona can score, Kansas State's going to put points up against Arizona's bad defense, and I think it's easily over 60 points, in my opinion.
I'm going to be a little controversial here. I think it's going under. Reason why I think Kansas State defense is going to step up a little bit on possessions. It's going to give Fafita some fits, I think. I don't think their line is super strong, but they're going to be good. They're still going to be a problem. I think they're going to get some good plays out of it, but I think it's going to be very close in the 50s, probably not going over into the 60s.
Yeah. No, I think that it's a good pick, too. I think if Kansas State gets a lead like Vegas expects them to, they're just going to run the ball and kill the clock. And in that case, if they're running the ball all second half, I mean, they're going to hit. It's gonna go.
And that's where I feel like it could go under.
Yeah.
But transitioning now, we got rivalry games coming up this Saturday because there's a lot of conference changes. You got Washington going to the Big Ten now, so it just ruins everything. Washington State technically is, what are they? They're considered Pac-12, I guess, still in the football, but they're WCC for basketball. But Washington State, Apple Cup. This Saturday, which is so weird. It's usually November on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
It's no longer, but at least they keep their rivalry going for the Apple Cup, so I'm very thankful for that. I am a Washington Husky fan for football.
Oh, yeah.
For those who don't know. So, give it to me. For those guys match up this weekend, who do you got?
Both teams are very good teams. They're a lot different than last year. Washington State had Cam Ward, who I think might win the Heisman this year. So they have a much different quarterback. Washington lost Michael Penix, all right? So two very different teams this year. Both are still very good. I can't remember Washington's quarterback.
Will Rogers.
Yep. That guy actually has been playing
Mississippi
phenomenal.
State. Yeah.
So they have this game being they have Washington at -4.5 right now. And I think Washington wins this game. Yeah. I just think Rodgers has been fantastic the first 2 weeks. They've been letting him throw the ball. Obviously, he has different targets. They don't have a Dunze, McMillan, and Jalen Polk, who were like the big three last year. But I still think Washington is a good team.
Washington even had Jack Westover last year, Devin Culp. Their tight ends.
They were loaded.
They had the best receiving core in the country.
They were my second favorite team last year. Yeah. So still like watching them. But yeah, I have Washington at home beating their rivals.
Okay. I got you on that one. And I'm going to be a little biased. I definitely have Washington beat Washington State. I do like WSU if they're not playing my teams. But yeah, I like Washington a lot. I agree. Will Rogers has been throwing the ball well. It is a different offensive style than when they had Ryan Grubb as offensive coordinator, who's now the offensive coordinator in the Seattle Seahawks. So he stayed in Seattle, just now in the NFL. Different style for sure. Rogers likes to air it out a little bit, but they're definitely running the football a little bit more than they did previous years with Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dylan Johnson last year was a great running back.
Where did he go? Do you know?
I forgot. I can't remember if he got drafted or if he went undrafted in the league. I know he ended the season with an injury, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of forgot about what he did.
I don't know where he went, but he was good.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But Apple Cup winners, definitely I got Washington. I don't know if this will be a 4.5 point spread. Washington I think I got them by 10. I'm going to give Washington a 10-point win.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I got. I think they'll get a little couple possession lead on them.
Yep. So Washington on that one. We're going to go over a couple more Saturday matchups, and then we're going to get to NFL. All right. So for the next matchup, we want to go over. We got Bama ranked at number 4 against Wisconsin. All right. It's in Wisconsin. Now they have Bama at 16-point favorites, -800 on the money line. So for anyone watching, that would mean if you bet Bama to beat Wisconsin, you'd have to bet $800 to win $100. All right, super bad value. My opinion on Bama is they're not actually that good this year. All right, Nick Saban's gone. Last week, if you just looked at the score, it's very misleading. It was like 45-14. They scored all of those points in the last quarter. Up until like the middle of the third quarter, the game was like 16-14, and Bama was struggling against it was not UCF, USF, South Florida. Yeah, it's like it's a small school, not a very good football program. So if Bama's struggling against them, I mean, I don't think they're very good this year. I think they'll beat Wisconsin, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than we think.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't watched Bama much this year. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I definitely am paying attention to them more because DeBoer is now their head coach,
Yep.
former Washington coach.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest, he's got a lot of shoes to fill. Nick Saban is obviously one of the best coaches of all time in college football. And that program alone, those boosters, man, they care so much about Alabama football. And if you don't come in and get a national championship, even in your first year, they're already considering about firing you.
Yeah.
So DeBoer really is going to be tested against these types of games with Wisconsin on the road. When they have bigger matchups in the SEC coming up, he's going to be tested a ton. So it's going to be interesting. It's good he has Jalen Milroe back, though.
See, I am just not bullish on Jalen Milroe.
Okay.
So he runs the ball. He's a freaking athlete. He's similar to Lamar Jackson, all right? And I know Lamar Jackson won MVP. Don't hate on me, all right? They're athletic people. I just don't know how good they actually are. And what I mean by that is, yeah, they might run the ball for 60-plus yards, right? They're fast, strong, athletic. But when it comes to throwing the ball, Lamar looked horrible. He missed Zay Flowers wide open in the end zone. Clearly he struggles with accuracy. Same thing with Jalen Milroe. Like, week 1, he had a couple long bombs. It's just because they were playing nobody. All right, so I think he maybe completed less than 10 passes that game. And the yards looked good, but it's because he's playing backyard football.
Yeah.
When you play a good team, like, I don't know, someone ranked in the top 15, you're not going to be able to play backyard football, throwing Hail Marys and having wide receivers go for 70 yards. So, I don't know. His stats might look good. He might be winning, but I don't actually think he is a quarterback that's going to take Bama to the championship this year. That's my personal opinion. Some might disagree. Let me know what you think about Jalen Milroe, but I am not very confident in him.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm not ever confident in Alabama football. I just don't like them. I think DeBoer is going to try to change their style more because they were always like a pro-style type offense. I think they're going to try to be more of a throwing program, like air it out, like they did at Washington with DeBoer. Obviously, he had a lot of help with Ryan Grubb, but Milroe is not that quarterback, like you mentioned. So once he's gone, I think they're going to start shifting into a different type of style of play.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a different type of Alabama football that we've never seen before. But yeah, as of right now, I'm not bullish on Milroe either. I think he was preseason like a Heisman candidate, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't think he's in that topic at all. I don't think he's in that category. But we'll talk about Heisman candidates here in a bit.
All right.
But tell me really quick, Ole Miss, Wake Forest. This is our last college football matchup for our top games to watch this weekend.
Yeah.
Who do you have on that?
I love Ole Miss. All right.
Okay.
Now, I'm not from Utah. We're filming this in Utah right now. But Jackson Dart is a hell of a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Utah State, I believe.
Okay.
Anyways, these people are good. I think they should be... So they're ranked 5 right now. I think they should be ranked above Bama, honestly. Jackson Dart is throwing 300 yards in a half.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy, Trey Harris, that's like his go-to guy. He's just popping off. This duo also might be in the contender of like the top 2 or the top 3 quarterback wide receiver duos in all of college football. So I think against Wake Forest, they have Ole Miss at minus 23. It is a lot of points. I mean, they have to score obviously 3 touchdowns and a field goal to cover the spread. But I think Ole Miss's offense, they're going to put up a lot of points, and Wake Forest is not going to be able to keep up with them. So even though it's a kind of a long shot, I like Ole Miss at minus 23.
Okay.
The offense is just insane.
I agree. I think Harris and the quarterback are definitely a dynamic duo for sure. What was the quarterback's name again?
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. Okay, yeah. No, definitely a dynamic duo. I'm very unsure about Wake Forest.
Uh-huh.
I know historically they've been pretty good on defense.
Yeah.
Offensively, I don't think they're as good. So if Ole Miss definitely fires away on offense like they have been, I think they're going to go 3-0 after the weekend for sure.
Yep.
But moving on, let's talk NFL really quick. I don't want to talk about all the games, but let's talk about some of the most key games. We already did Bills and Dolphins.
Yep.
But let's talk about one of the morning games that I really am looking forward to seeing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I am biased about this team a little bit.
Let's hear it.
Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots playing in Foxborough. Who do you have in that game? ESPN has a Seattle victory for 3.5 is the line for that, but total 37.5 between both teams. Is that correct or incorrect? What do you got?
I got Seahawks winning this game.
On the road, okay.
Yeah. I think the Bengals look bad, so that's why the Patriots won.
Mm-hmm.
But that team is so incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Seahawks easily win that game. I would take -3.5 all day.
Okay.
Personally, I mean, you're a Seahawks fan. You
Yeah.
probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'll take it for sure. I think it's gonna be tough because they're going on the road. They had a very iffy first game. I mean, they were awful. I was yelling at my screen the whole time. Offensively, they could not get anything going, which is why DK Metcalf and Geno went under.
Yeah,
They couldn't
do
get
anything.
They couldn't do anything. They actually had, I think, 3 safeties called on them in the game because they couldn't get out of their own end zone, and they had a bunch of different miscommunication and issues. But what was amazing was Seattle's defense stepped it up, which is amazing because Mike McDonald's very defensive minded. Came as a defensive coordinator from Baltimore. Okay, so he's first year head coach, gets his first win. Ryan Grubb is the offensive coordinator. He's got a lot of adjusting to do going into the NFL as the style's different. You know, the athletes are different than the college game, right? Especially for the defenses. But Broncos played tough. It still was only a 6-point win for Seattle. But I think they'll clean up those messes and definitely go to New England with a better opportunity. I think they have the weapons this year to be playoff contenders, truthfully, for Seattle. But New England's got Drake May.
Yeah.
And
I'm not very confident in him, but
I think he could be a sleeper guy.
He could be, yeah.
I think he's a sleeper guy in this league, for sure. I'm hoping he doesn't end up like a Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones is awful. But
yeah.
I think Drake May is one of those guys that comes from, like, the Carolinas. Like, so Daniel Jones came from Duke. Drake May's from North Carolina, right? And I think he's going to be better than what Daniel Jones ever has been. So we'll see. But I think Seattle wins that game. But as of the morning games, let's go down a little bit to the after. Actually, no, let's do one more morning game. Bucks-Lions.
Bucks-Lions. So I think Lions win this game, but I actually think the Buccaneers are going to win that division. So
okay.
I think Baker Mayfield, love him, hate him, I think he's actually a stud.
Yeah.
He's got that grit in him. He had a phenomenal week 1. He threw a ton of yards. He's got a lot of targets. He's got the guy from Washington, McMillan.
Yeah.
Who caught a long bomb.
He's got Jalen McMillan on the team.
Yeah, and then he's still got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So they have the line at +7. I think a lot of people, because they think that the Lions at home, they're the better team, they're going to win. But I think the +7, -7 is a little bit of a trap. I don't think the Lions will win more than that. I think the Buccaneers will put up a fight. And I don't know, upsets happen all the time. I could see the Buccaneers even getting lucky and winning that game.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's a good thing the Lions have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, because I absolutely hate Jared Goff.
Do you?
I think Jared Goff is awful.
Did you hate him at the Rams too?
Yes, hated him at the Rams. I think Stafford's amazing. I've always liked Matthew Stafford. I'm sad that he's a Ram, because I'm not a Rams fan. However, I think he's got better receiving core for the Rams that he's get to deal with now in the ending of his career. But Jared Goff is not my favorite. I think he got purely lucky last year. I think Lions defense has really stepped up. I do love Amon-Ra St. Brown. Big time stud.
He's a beast, but
USC.
he didn't do anything last week either.
He didn't do anything last week.
It's
all
insane.
those quarterbacks and receivers were under last week.
I almost picked him first pick in my fantasy league.
Okay.
I think he'll have a huge year.
Yeah.
But based off of week 1, I mean, I have no idea anymore.
Yeah, it was it was kind of a bloodbath for that Monday Night Football game. Yeah, I didn't like that, but I'm not a Jared Goff fan. So, yeah. Lions, though, do respect the crap out of him. Dan Campbell, respect the crap out of him, too.
Yeah.
But let's transition to a couple more games. Bengals-Chiefs. AFC rivalry game. Bengals have started off 0-1. Chiefs are 1-0. We're going back to Arrowhead Stadium. This is a mid-afternoon game around 4:25 Eastern. Okay. Total 47.5, but KC is a -5. What do we got here?
I'm gonna let you answer this one first. I want to
Okay.
hear what you think. I'm not too sure on this one. I mean, obviously the Chiefs are the better team, but they always say that Joe Burrow is like Patrick Mahomes' daddy. All right, like, he's always
he is Patrick Mahomes' daddy.
Yeah. So shoot, I mean, these games historically have always been within 3 points. Every single time, it's like 30-27, Bengals win, or like 24-27. I don't think the Bengals are that good this year based off of last week, but I mean, what do you?
Well, let's think about it. Jamar Chase took super long to sign his freaking contract.
Yep.
Which, by the way, NFL players, come on. Like, if you're that close to a season game, come to a deal. Come to an agreement. Because you're killing everyone out here and their fantasy teams.
Yeah, literally. He almost didn't play.
No.
They said due to illness of a contract issue or whatever.
Like, Jamar, stop trying to outdo Justin Jefferson in your contract, dude. Come on. Like, just freaking play football.
Yeah.
And CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. All you guys, man. You guys are too good of football players to be playing games like this. But I do like you, Jamar Chase. I really do like you. And I'm confident in you, bro. I like you a lot. One of my favorite receivers in the league. But, yeah, I think Joey B and Jamar Chase, which is weird. Last week, Joey B was under his passing yards, but Jamar was over his receiving yards. But Joe Burrow didn't have as many completions as he should have had. I know it was a really weird game for him, and they even lost, right? So I think they just, after having that week 1 experience, they're going to come into week 2 and Arrowhead with some fire. I really think it's going to be a good football game. I think Travis Kelce probably have a better football game, too.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy is an unbelievable football player.
Right. Yeah.
Unbelievably fast.
Yeah.
What a steal Kansas City has in getting that guy. So, but I think the Bengals are going to fight. I'm very unsure how they're going to do defensively, but I think they're going to offensively. I think both teams are going to fire away. Truthfully, I think Jamar's going to make some plays. T. Higgins. I think Joe Burrow is going to have some amazing plays, and I think we're going to see another great game by Mahomes and his receivers. Probably another Xavier Worthy touchdown. I think this guy's going to be really involved.
Deep ball?
I think a deep ball is going to happen. They're going to somehow look off Rashee Rice or something, or have him run a short route, or look off Kelce, and there goes Xavier Worthy. I just think he's so valuable on this team.
Yeah, he is.
He's going to be...
He fits well.
Fits very well. He's going to be very forgotten, quote unquote, because they're going to be... every team's going to be focusing really hard on Rashee Rice on little dig routes.
And then double teaming
Kelce. Exactly. So Xavier Worthy is probably going to see a lot more cheese this year than we thought. But anyways, that's me. What about you?
Yeah, I'm probably taking Chiefs -5. Super Bowl champs. Their team is complete. And, I think they just want to get off to a hot start this season. So I think they just... Another thing you got to consider, too, is, like, beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead is extremely difficult. So I just
Extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I've been there.
The stadium is insane. So I just think that Patrick Mahomes, the Super Bowl champs, they're not going to let another team in their division come to their home and beat them. So I got Chiefs -5. I'm trying not to overthink it. At first glance, that's how I feel. Chiefs -5. And then we got Sunday Night Football. We got Bears, Texans. 2 very young quarterbacks. We got Caleb Williams painting his fingernails. And we got C.J. Stroud and the Texans.
Painting his fingernails, wearing dresses.
Yeah, wearing dresses. And we got good
Calling zesty plays on the line.
Which, that
White 20!
that defense saved his butt last week.
Oh my gosh.
Scored all the points. So, I don't know. I mean, he's supposed to be like MVP
caliber.
and I don't even think he threw for 100 yards. So, I don't know. What do you think about Sunday Night Football?
I think Texans for sure have this game if the Bears played like they did last week.
100%.
If Caleb Williams and his offensive crew do not change what they did from last week to this week, then they're just not going to win football games at all this year.
Yeah.
Like, they got extremely lucky last week, which I know the Bears are very defensive-minded, which is awesome. Historically, they've always been very defensive-minded. But they need to have an identity in offense. They need to figure out what makes them so different than all the other teams in this league to where they're going to win football games, right? Especially win the good ones. Tennessee's not very good.
Yeah.
And they beat them, right? Barely.
And they have all the targets. I mean, Cole Kmet, 1 catch for 4 yards. DJ Moore didn't do anything. Either did Keenan Allen, Romo Dunze. Like, they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So,
which is funny is they have the personnel. But they didn't do anything. You're right.
And, yeah, the Bears' defense is good, but C.J. Stroud very, very, very rarely ever throws interceptions. So, it's in Houston. I got Texans all day beating the Bears.
Okay. I like that. I honestly think Texans are also going to beat the Bears.
Yeah.
I also think that the Bears are going to possibly do what they did last week, and I think it's going to be bigger than 6-point spread. Just me.
No, I like it.
But final NFL game, Monday Night Football for September 16th, Falcons-Eagles. What do you got?
Well, Kirk Cousins didn't look good. Another team that's supposed to be really, really good this year. They obviously got Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. But yeah, I think the Eagles are the better team. I think Jalen Hurts needs to just feed Saquon Barkley. He had 3 touchdowns. What a game to start off his career, or not career, but season with the Eagles. And Philly fans are insane. Like, anyone that is a diehard Phillies fan, like, they're borderline insane. I think that stadium's going to be electric, and I have Eagles by -6.5, winning by more than a touchdown against the Falcons. So.
Okay, I like that. I agree with you, though. Eagles, I think, take this game. Falcons are just not that good, in my opinion. I think Kirk Cousins looks like a disaster.
Yeah.
And honestly, him looking so bad, they might put in Michael Penix.
I would love that.
I would love that too. I like Kirk Cousins as a guy. I think he's still a really good quarterback. But man, can he negotiate? 4 years, and what was it? 80 million
It was dumb.
Or like 100 million plus. I forgot what his contract was. I mean, he's not getting a contract at this ever again. That was his last contract. Payday. Yep. But then Michael Penix, man, he'll probably see the field a little bit if Cousins is going to keep playing like this. Now, granted, I don't think his offensive line gave him a lot of time last game, but this Eagle defense is tough, and Saquon Barkley is a tough player. So you have to look out for Hurts, you got to look out for Devontae and AJ Brown, and you got to be watching for Saquon rolling out for
screen passes,
lots of draw plays, maybe some jet sweeps options. I mean, this Eagles team is so much better than having Swift in the backfield and now having Saquon.
I would say no more tush pushes. Just give the ball to Saquon. All right, just feed Saquon. Because I don't know if you saw, but that in the last quarter, the Eagles were on the 1 yard line, and they did a tush push, and Hurts fumbled the ball, or almost fumbled the ball. Yeah, just give the ball to Saquon.
Yeah,
he's goated. So
it's just like with Seattle Seahawks years ago versus New England. If you're on the goal line, you give it to Marshawn. You give it to beast mode. You don't do anything else, but you give it to beast mode, right? We can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think this is Saquon's year to really explode as a player. He's healthy. He's determined to show that he is a legitimate player in this league, even if he is getting a little older. I think he's 28 now, 27. That's getting older for a running back. Okay, their length in the league is not as long compared to most other players, especially quarterbacks, things like that, kickers, right? But for them, they have the least amount of time span in the NFL. So I think Saquon's determined to show that he's got a lot in the tank. he's going to have a breakout year. I really firmly believe that. He had a great first game. So second game, I think he's bound to have another one.
I'm excited, man. We got so many good games this weekend. It's like I just get giddy like it's Christmas morning, Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings. We have so much football, so many games to look forward to. Before we wrap up, you have anything to finish with?
So anytime, guys, on our segments, we're always going to do rapid fire questions to each other. And so I have a couple rapid fire questions for you, Trupa. Really quick, who are your NFL division winners for the NFC and the AFC? So we have the NFC West. Who do you got?
Let me think. You said NFC.
This is rapid fire. I was even thinking.
You said NFC West?
Yeah. So right now I'll just name off the divisions, and you tell me which division is the winner for the NFC West. So you have the Niners. You have the Seahawks. Cardinals,
Niners.
Rams.
Yeah, Niners.
Okay.
100%.
NFC East,
which is the Vikings.
Yes.
I got the.
Well, NFC East is not the Vikings. My bad. That's like Cowboys, Eagles.
I'm joking.
Good.
I got the Eagles. I got the Eagles on that one.
Okay. So let's see here, and I'll even pull this up just to make sure I'm not crazy here. So NFC East, you have the Eagles winning. You have the Cowboys, Commanders, and Giants in there. So Eagles. Okay. NFC West, you chose 49ers. Okay, give me the NFC North. Vikings, Lions,
NFC
Bears,
North,
Packers.
I got the Lions easy.
Okay.
Yep.
NFC South.
NFC South, I got the Buccaneers. Right now they have the Falcons favorite, and then the Saints, and then the Buccaneers. That is great value. I got the Buccaneers.
Okay, I like that. I actually think the Bucs are tough in that league too. Yeah. I think honestly it's probably one of the weakest divisions in all NFL.
You'll go 8-8 and still make playoffs.
Which is exactly what happened to the Bucs last year.
Yep.
All right, AFC East. So Dolphins, Patriots, Bills, Jets.
I got the Jets. I'm super, super bullish on the Jets. Some people would say the Bills. I think the Bills have no targets anymore other than Dalton Kincaid. Jets all day. Best defense in the league. Not last week, but best defense in the league.
I think Bills and Patriots are going to be fighting for last place in AFC East this year.
Yep.
I think Jets and Dolphins will fight for first. Mm-hmm. Jets I'm also very bullish on as well. Aaron Rodgers, people have no idea how goated this guy is. Yeah. He's just like Tom Brady. He'll go out there and compete. He's so smart.
Yep.
There's a lot of quarterbacks in this league that are very good, but they're not as smart as people like Aaron Rodgers.
100%.
Okay, AFC West. Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders.
Chiefs all day. Again, that division is pretty bad too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what other team could win that division. It's Chiefs all day.
Yeah, so, and Chiefs are going to win by many games.
Yeah, easy.
AFC North. Steelers, Browns, Ravens, Bengals.
Another bad division. Deshaun Watson, terrible. Steelers, not very good, but maybe okay. Bengals don't look good. By default, I have to go with the Ravens just because there's no other team I feel good about.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of with you.
Ravens are coming for a big bounce back game after that loss. I think they stomped the Raiders. Get back on track. I got the Ravens.
AFC South now. So you have Texans, Titans, Jags, Colts.
I like the Texans.
I do too. CJ Stroud is tough.
Yeah, Jags are a good team, but I don't know. I think the Texans are complete. I got Texans all day.
Cool. Give me your preseason. We've only had one game, obviously. Preseason Super Bowl champs.
I got the Jets.
The Jets. Okay.
I got the Jets. Actually, can I change it?
Yeah. What do you want?
I got the 49ers.
Okay. I think that's hilarious. I'm going to give you guys my preseason pick as well. I'm going Chiefs. I think it's a Chiefs-Niners matchup.
They run it back.
I think they run it back.
Oh, my goodness.
And the Chiefs are going to three-peat.
That'd be a three-peat.
Yep. I think that's going to be a three-peat.
No one's ever done it?
No one's ever done it.
So
no, this is me insane.
They got a chip on their shoulder.
They're really, they're fired up. And they got the weapons, in my opinion. They got the defense. They got the weapons. As long as everybody stays healthy, Chiefs running back for a three-peat. All right. Last couple questions. Your top 5 Heisman candidates this year. Go.
Shoot.
Give me the best you can. I know you haven't done all the research. That's why it's rapid fire.
Tyreek Hill.
Top 5 Heisman candidates.
Oh,
college football. We're going to college football.
All right, switch to college. Shoot, we got Jeremiah Smith.
Okay.
Ohio State. We got Genty.
Ashton Genty, Boise State. And this is not in order. Just the top 5. Yeah. What do you think?
We got Carson Beck, obviously, for Georgia.
Yep.
Quinn Ewers has to be in there.
Texas.
Texas actually looks phenomenal. I think they're going to do some damage. And I would say, I'm trying to think of another quarterback. Let's throw in Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I actually like that pick.
Yeah.
A ton. He's having a good
I don't
year.
even know what the odds are on any of those.
It's totally out
They're
of
just
the web.
on the spot. Do you have any other ones?
Honestly, gosh, I might be pretty close to your picks as well. I definitely love Genty as like the lone running back.
You told me a lot about Genty.
Oh, dude.
And I didn't know anything about this guy. I know week 1 he scored 6 touchdowns, and then you were telling me like for months like this guy is the real deal. I'm like, really? I get Boise State against Oregon. Is he really going to be able to do much? And what? He ran for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. You were at the game.
Oh, I know. I was at the game. Yeah.
But he's on my radar now.
Oh.
I understand he's an absolute beast.
I'm riding with this guy for anything over his rushing yards. He is getting the ball 85% of the time. This guy is for sure an SEC type running back.
Mm-hmm.
But Boise State paid this man a lot to stay at Boise State and be the guy, which I'm super glad he stayed. He will be playing on Sundays, for sure. This guy's a bowling ball.
Yeah.
He's a junior this year, so this is his last year, for sure.
Yeah.
He's in the league next year.
Yeah, hope he stays healthy, doesn't get injured.
Exactly. I hope he stays healthy. He gets hit all the time.
Yeah.
So this guy has got a lot of wear and tear, but I'm very impressed with the way he preps and plays the game. So, which that Boise State team needs him. Otherwise, they're not the same football team. They're just
100%.
not. But, yeah, Genty's on my radar, too. I like Carson Beck. I like Quinn Ewers as well. I wasn't even thinking about the Ole Miss QB. Darts.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even thinking about... I actually was thinking about... I already forgot who I was thinking about. It was Squirrel, I think I was thinking about.
Oh, yeah?
Squirrel from Tennessee.
Yep.
I was also thinking of the NC State quarterback, McCall.
Oh, yeah. Grayson McCall.
Grayson McCall. Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah.
Fafita. I was also thinking about. I don't really.
And obviously they put usually quarterbacks in there, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to think of quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks and maybe an occasional running back if they're getting the ball more this year, but the receivers don't ever really get an opportunity at the Heisman.
Yeah.
Unless you're Marvin Harrison, you even had a consideration.
Yeah. Or Devontae Smith
Or
a
Devontae
while
Smith.
ago, but it's usually a quarterback.
I would say Miller Moss looked pretty impressive too.
Oh, yeah.
From USC.
Yeah.
So those are my kind of thoughts, but I think for sure I like Darts, I like Genty, and I like Carson Beck as your top 3 candidates.
Mm-hmm.
My top 5, I'm a little iffy on.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about the Heisman, who you think has the best shot at winning the Heisman.
Yeah. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for joining us on our very first episode. We are very grateful to, first of all, have connected with each other. I'm in Utah.
Heck yeah.
He lives in Florida. And we will have most of our episodes, I would say 95% of them are going to be online. Okay? But obviously, we travel a lot. We're going to do our very best to collab together in person. So we're thankful to have this very first episode on a collab, my man. This is Trupa. I'm snipersky. You can follow me on my Instagram at snipersky_locks all together. And his is trupa locks all together. And we have pages where we are able to make picks on money lines and player props on our individual pages, but we also have the Power Play Pod that you can follow, like, and subscribe to, and we will be posting picks on there as well as our podcast videos. So, yeah. Thanks for joining us, and comment in this video right here what you guys think we should be talking about in future episodes. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
My man.